Welcome back. In today's chapter, Apostate Part 2, Kira is training with the Apostate to see if she can master Kantara. How will it go? Let's find out. Apostate Part 2. It takes Kira several months just to be able to sense Kantara, let alone touch it. This does not concern the Apostate in the least. There is no telling what Kira might do if she were indeed able to touch or control the power, so lack of progress on her part is not necessarily a problem. He does take pleasure in instructing her, though. She has a sharp mind, pays close attention to his directions, and is distractingly pleasant to be around. Teaching her gives him a chance to revisit his own knowledge of Kantara. It forces him to put into words the truths that he has long internalized, but has never vocalized or put into concise terms. Doing so is challenging, and requires him to face the gaps and shortcomings in his own understanding. Kira is quick to point out inconsistencies in his teachings. The girl is an avid learner, but she does not have the apostate's appetite for unlimited meditation. Fortunately, neither does she possess the ability to reset her body in the way that he does every night. This means that she frequently has to make long sorties to seek out food and exercise. Sometimes she is gone for days at a time. This provides him with the opportunity to catch up on his own meditation. When Kira inevitably comes back, she always brings enough food to last her through several days of training. But she also brings back baked treats for the apostate, even though she knows that he usually does not eat. He finds the pastries she brings him to be more enjoyable than he had expected. It is on a frosty morning, at the onset of winter, that the apostate first senses Kira touching Kantara. She is sitting next to him, immobile in the dark, eyes closed, when there is a ripple in the power close to him. It is a clumsy and uneven ripple, but a strong one nonetheless. He hears her gasp in surprise and delight, even as he experiences a small burst of pride at her achievement. For the next few days, he lets her play around with this new connection. She is a child discovering the ocean for the first time, both scared and delighted at this unfathomable immensity which she is experiencing. It takes about 4 weeks for her to grow relatively familiar with it, and come to the realization that even though she can sense and touch Kantara, she has no concept of how to use it or what to do with it. Finally, he senses that she needs more from him. She needs guidance on where to go next, lest she swim blindly out into Kantara and drown in it. But where to start? There are so many ways in which she could harm herself if she is not careful. And despite his proclaimed renouncement to material attachments, the apostate has become rather fond of this kind young woman from the Golden Isle. The first technique I'm going to teach you is actually very advanced, he explains. If used correctly, it will allow you to heal from any wound, injury, or illness. But it is also very dangerous, especially the first few times you use it. You could accidentally erase yourself from existence. I'll try extra hard not to erase myself. Promise. I'm serious, the apostate admonishes. If you can master this technique, you will be able to recover instantly from any injuries you sustain, learning other techniques later. It will speed your learning up dramatically, and you will also find that it has many, many other uses. The apostate hesitates. Perhaps we should start with something else. What I have in mind is possibly too potent. Kira rests a gentle hand on his forearm. I'm ready, she says, eagerness burning in her eyes. The apostate sighs. Very well, then. Tell me, Kira, how do you think I am able to survive in here, on my own year after year, with no food or water? I don't know. It's not all that surprising. You are pretty weird, you know. The apostate snorts. I reset my body every night while you sleep. I've been doing this ever since I came here. I use Kantara to delete the time that my body has experienced since the previous night, over and over again. So even though I have been here for decades, my body has aged very little since the day I last came here. Physically, it is as if I've only been in this cave for a few weeks. No, a few months now, maybe. I've had to let time pass a little to stay on top of your training. You're making me age faster, Kira. That last sentence comes with a wink. How is that possible? You can do that? You think of time as just an abstract concept, but it is every bit as real as these rocks around us. I will teach you to see it using Kantara. And then, once you can see and touch it, I will teach you to erase small portions of it. That's how I reset myself. I delete the time that my body has experienced, over and over again, one day at a time. I call it the backstep, for lack of a better term. Kira sits for a moment, taking in this new information. Then, so you use Kantara to erase time. Are you continuously reliving the same day then, over and over again? My body is. Time continues to move forward, but my body is always resetting, once every night. It's why I don't get too hungry. From my perspective, I just ate not long ago. It's also how I can go forever without sleeping, should I so desire. Ha! And all this time, I thought you had reached some form of enlightenment, where you were nourished by spiritual energy or something. The apostate smiles ruefully. I do enjoy feeding the mystique a little. The downside is that resetting my body also resets my mind. So if I learn something significant in a given day, I cannot delete that day without forgetting what I have learned. Is that why you can be so absent-minded at times? You've actually erased the memory of what I said earlier? That seems plausible. So, how long do you think we've been training for? Do you think we started just today? The apostate shakes his head. No. I know that we've been here for the better half of a year now. I keep notes. Kira takes a deep breath. Okay, so after I learn this technique, if I get hurt, I will be able to delete the time in which the injury happened and be perfectly fine again? Exactly. When you are done deleting that portion of time, your body will be both in the same condition as it was before and in the same place as it was before. It will be as if you have instantly moved back in time. Though, of course, time will have still gone on, uninterrupted, for everyone else. To others, it will appear as if you have physically teleported back to where you were before. Ooh, that sounds intense. I like it. Kira quickly settles into lotus position and reaches for Kantara. The apostate feels her touch it almost instantly. Her grasp is still a little clumsy and a bit rough around the edges, but she has already improved by leaps and bounds. He settles in beside her and sinks into the power as well. Gently, patiently, he guides her. He shows her how to see time within Kantara, how to identify different moments in time, how to move forward and backward along the timeline. it takes a few days. Kira is very adept at moving along the timeline, but she struggles a little with finding it each time. She improves steadily, though, until finally, she is ready to attempt her very first backstep. When the moment finally comes, the apostate is somewhat surprised to find that Kira's excitement is matched only by his own apprehension. The young woman just sees exciting new possibilities, whereas he finds himself increasingly focused on everything that could go wrong. He has never taught this skill to anyone before. In fact, he wasn't sure it could actually be learned through practice at all. He has only ever known of one other person who could do it. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. The ability to delete time unlocks the ability to control one's age at will, and Kira is fully aware of this now. He is giving her immortality, and will have no control over what she does with it. But it is too late to turn back now. Focus. Slow breathing. He motions her to go stand further back in the cave, and she complies. Okay, he says. We're going to start very small. Just delete a few seconds. I want you to walk over to me, and then delete the time that it took you to walk here. That will teleport you back to where you are now. It will be a little disorienting the first time you do it, specifically because you won't remember doing it. Your body will be reset to how it was a few seconds prior, and that includes your memories. You'll feel that something has changed, that you've deleted your time, but you won't be sure how much you've deleted, or maybe even why you deleted it. It takes some getting used to, but I'll walk you through it. Kira smiles nervously. When do I start walking? Whenever you're ready. You have all the time in the world. She clenches her fist in excitement and takes 6 long, slow steps in his direction until she's standing right next to him. He feels the ripple when she touches Kantara. Okay, he says. We're going to start very small. Just delete a few seconds. I want you to walk over to me, and then... He pauses, confused. Wait, wasn't she standing on the other side of the cavern? Delete the time that it took you to walk here, she finishes for him, beaming. I did it! I did exactly as you told me, and it worked! She can barely contain herself with glee. It was only a few seconds, but it worked! It actually worked! She is so elated that it takes her almost a full minute of gushing and babbling to finally register the frown on his face. When she finally does see it, though, she's mortified. Oh no. Did I do it wrong? Did I not delete enough? The apostate shakes his head. No, it's okay. I missed it somehow. I must have blinked. I'm sorry. Let's try it again. Kira nods eagerly. I'll go farther back this time. Delete a few extra seconds. Let me know if I'm doing it right. She scurries off eagerly to the far wall of the cave and looks for his go-ahead signal. He gives it. Instantly, she is standing before him, beaming. The time it took her to cross the cave has been deleted. But that's not how it was supposed to go. She was supposed to walk over first and then teleport back. Instead, she appears to have teleported forward. What happened? Did she delete more time than anticipated? Kira instantly catches the puzzled look on the apostate's face. Okay, you're still making that face? I get it. I can do it better. Just tell me how. Let's do this one step at a time, he offers. You're going to walk to the back of the cave. When I give the signal, come towards me. I'll give you a second signal, And I want you to delete only enough time so that you find yourself at the back of the cave again. No more, no less. Can you do that? She nods and steps back again, somewhat deflated. He gives her the signal to start walking towards him, and instantly she is standing in front of him again, just like last time. Hold on, she says. Let me try that again. The fourth time yields exactly the same result, however. And now Kira's puzzlement matches that of the apostate. I don't see how I'm supposed to end up back where I started, she sighs. My body just doesn't move when I do the back step. The apostate motions for her to sit down beside him. You still changed places, he offers. From where you were to where you are. So you must be deleting the time of that movement somehow. Could you be deleting space as well? Is that even possible? The apostate puts a comforting hand on Kira's shoulder. Look, we're going to figure this out. I've never taught anyone to delete time before, so this is not your fault. We're going to sort it out. Suddenly, Kira is just not there anymore. 1 second, his hand is resting on her shoulder. The next, his arm is falling through empty air, unsupported. The apostate briefly loses his balance, and only catches himself from falling over by jamming his hand hard against the floor. He gives out a startled cry. What just happened? Then he sees Kira. She is maybe 20 feet from him now, breathing heavily, hair tousled, staring at him, eyes wide. The sleeve on her tunic is torn. Alarmed, the apostate moves to help her, but she stops him with an angry cry. Stay back! What's going on? He wants to go help her, but she shakes her head at him. There is a look of fear and alarm in her eyes that he has never seen before. She points a finger at him. Her voice is trembling as the words come out of her mouth. Don't you dare stand up. He raises his hands to calm her down. Whatever has happened, she's clearly rattled. Is she deleting time without trying? He didn't think her training was too rushed. In a few moments, Kira continues, you're going to think of attacking me. Don't do it. If I did something wrong, I'm sorry. I need you to talk to me and tell me what's going on so I can fix this. Boom! She teleports again, even farther away this time. Stop it! She yells. Don't do this! I don't care if it's for the greater good or about any of those other things you'll say. Why are you trying to kill me? Hot tears stream down her dirty cheeks, and her shrill voice breaks as she speaks. I trusted you, she cries. I trusted you. Kira, the apostate pleads. Please, calm down. I don't know what is happening, but we can work through this. I can help you. I don't know what is scaring you, but I haven't done anything that would... And then he falters mid-sentence because he finally gets it. He finally sees what is happening. Understanding floods his mind, a raging whirlpool of clarity and comprehension, submerged under the terrible consequences and implications of this knowledge. Kira isn't deleting her own time. She's deleting all time that is not her own. All time, everywhere. She's erasing the future. Everyone's future, except her own. For a moment, the apostate is paralyzed with fear. He had never considered that anyone could delete any time outside of their own. He knows that he can't do it. Even now, it doesn't seem possible that Kira could. It must be a mistake. The power to revert the universe, if time doesn't go according to your will? The very thought is obscene. It's the power to rewrite history, to destroy the future, all futures, until the specific outcome you desire materializes. This isn't immortality. It's omniscience. Omnipotence, almost. No one can ever be allowed to hold such power, not even the gentlest of souls. The thought flashes through his mind that he needs to stop Kira from ever using this power again. Come what may, he cannot let her leave his sanctuary with that ability. And then he realizes that he is already too late. He has already tried to stop her, twice, and she has simply deleted those attempts. Already, she is too strong for him to stop her by force. Kira, he begs. But it is too late. She is gone. He is alone once more, and only the cavern walls hear his plea. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this chapter. I really like it, but I struggle a bit with the exposition dump that happens when the Apostate is explaining the backstep to Kira. It just seems a bit awkward and doesn't really flow. Do you have a suggestion on how we can improve that? Let me know in the comments, and I will implement that in the book and give you credit for your contribution. Thank you, and I'll catch you next time.